This is my first half-year results as CEO of SThree, and it really reinforces the three reasons that I came here. The first is our purpose, bringing skilled people together to build the future that really drives the passion and purpose of the people that we have. Our core strategy, which is to focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as well as an increasing focus on flexible ways of working. That core strategy really is reflected in our results, where we can see that we've got double-digit growth through 3 of our 4 geographies across the world. We have a really great geographic footprint, and you're really seeing that in the organization and our results through the first half of the year. And then the third reason that I came here was our people. Real passionate people that have welcomed me into the organization, and I'm incredibly excited to work with them every day.
It's been a very encouraging first half performance, with revenue up 10% on a constant currency basis as we refocused the business towards contract. Contract net fees were up 12%. Permanent net fees were marginally down 1%. Overall net fees were up 9%. And contract representing 74% of net fees. Our adjusted operating profit grew by 18% year on year, driving a conversion ratio, the ratio of operating profit to net fees, up by 1.2 percentage points year on year. Glasgow contributed roughly £2.5 million to the operating profit increase, and consultant productivity, which was up 1% in the half, contributed also. Our reported profit before tax, that's when you look through any adjusting items or exceptional items, was up 27% year on year, and our earnings per share on an adjusted basis were up 16%. Our interim dividend of 5.1p was up 0.4p year on year, and that's after a half p increase at the finals in 2018. Our sales headcount was up 12% year on year at the end of the half, and we've particularly invested in our businesses in Continental Europe, which was up 11%, the US up 17%, and our Asia-Pac region, driven by our Japanese business, which is growing very strongly, up 17%. So we entered the second half with a double-digit growth in our headcount. 74% of our net fees are contract. Contract is particularly well suited to STEM staffing markets. When we look at our internal data, we can see that there's a very strong economic case for contract versus the permanent equivalent when we look by region and by sector, in that the lifetime value, the economic profit over a typical contractor is roughly 50% more than for a permanent equivalent placement. We also like contract because it gives us much better visibility of earnings and is a more predictable business for us. We have higher barriers to entry with contract. It requires cash pre-funding. There's more complex support infrastructure around contract. And also, if you look at emerging trends, it's very much geared towards contract and flexible working with the emergence of the gig economy. Contract is also relatively more resilient in less certain macroeconomic environments and markets, and particularly strong as markets improve. And contract underpins our robust commitment to the dividend through the fact that we pre-fund contractors, and when the contract numbers start to level off or indeed reduce, we have a cash windfall as the working capital tied up in the contract business unwinds, and that underpins our commitment to the dividend throughout the cycle. We're also delighted with the financial contribution made by the relocation of London-based support services to Glasgow, and really believe we're creating a leverageable platform for growth in Glasgow to support the business as it moves forwards. I'd also like to highlight a couple of non-financial KPIs which are particularly important to the group. Our Net Promoter Score, looking at both placed candidates and clients, is 46, and that compares to 42 last year. So a very strong performance, absolutely, and a good improvement year on year. And that bodes very well for the future. Churn in a sales business is also very important. Churn for the first half of the year was 34% on an annualised basis, down from 41% this time last year. And that's, again, a great platform as we look into the second half of the year. Tenure has a very strong and direct correlation to productivity. A consultant with more than 12 months experience is 2.3 times more productive than a consultant with less than 12 months experience. And as we move into our seasonally more significant second half, it's great to have this tenure tailwind behind us.
The structural market drivers for SThree are really key. The opportunity in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is enormous moving forward. As we all try and navigate the fourth industrial revolution and things like genetic sequencing, artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things become, core to really changing the way in which every company works and how we all live our lives. The key ingredient to that is skilled and specialist people across the globe. And our focus here on finding the best talent in those markets really puts us in a good place to deliver growth in the long term. We also tend to focus on flexible ways of working and the way in which people go to work now, and the gig economy, more project-based working, and the ways in which companies want to deliver their projects over time really plays into the strengths of SThree as we understand how to deliver that in an effective and compliant way across all of our markets. As we look at the outlook for the full year and beyond, we're well positioned notwithstanding the macroeconomic conditions that are affecting some of our markets as we enter into the second half of the year, which is more significant for us seasonally. Beyond that, we'll continue to invest in technology and supporting our people with the right tools and capabilities to drive productivity and efficiencies, and also in things like data, to really help us get unique market insights that will be a competitive advantage for us. But beyond that, the opportunity in STEM is enormous. And I know with all of the passionate people that are focused on our purpose, we'll really deliver growth in the long term.